What's going on, good people? Welcome back to the channel. It's Main One Collector Video. Now, it's been a while since I did a unboxing. You know, sometimes life happens, work stuff, you know, kids school stuff, and I just got figures, comics, toys just piling up in the corner. So I said, let me get around to opening these bad boys up and let's do a video on it. So remember, if you like this video, click like and subscribe. Helps out the channel, and I appreciate you. Alright, so the first up is going to be a delivery from Target, and this is how the delivery was left at my door. The box is open, it's clearly been looked inside, and you know, I can't figure out maybe if it was the delivery guy or in transit. They looked in the box, probably figured it wasn't worth taking, you know, so let's just deliver it to them and hope nobody says anything. Now, these are going to be figures I had on a pre-order with another retailer, but then what happens? Target just puts everything up and they blew them out on sale. So I believe I got these for 16 bucks a pop. So I got the animated Spider-Man retro carded chameleon figure, you know, had to pick that up, and then I dumbed out and I ordered two of them. So I ordered two, one to crack open, pose up, one to put up on the wall with my retro collection. And you know, why not? I didn't have this guy on pre-order with anybody else, so I snatched him up to Spider-Boy. So Spider-Boy and Chameleon, and I got these cheap for 16 bucks a pop. I mean, you can't beat that, you know, blowout sale. And next up is going to be some comics that I ordered. And, you know, I've been on a comic ordering kick of late also, you know, toys, comics, you know, they go together. And, you know, I got to appreciate the way this seller sent these books. You know, not only are they wrapped in a plastic mailer, you know, in a Gemini box, you know, that's pretty good. You know, I'm already digging the way that this guy packed these books up. Oh, man, will you look at that? eBay seller threw in some free books, 2 free books I didn't even pay for to go along with the purchase, so I'm gonna have to leave this guy some generous feedback. But this is the prize right here, G.I. Joe number 21 Silent Interlude reissue, and this book looks great. The foil cover is phenomenal. So I got this book to get signed by Larry Hama at a future Comic-Con, probably at New York City Comic-Con, so that's a great pickup right there. So next up is going to be some more comic books that I got, and I got to give it up to the eBay sellers that I've been buying from. They've been packing these books up very well, and you know, the deliveries have been great on the books. So next up is going to be, guess what it is? Another issue of G.I. Joe number 21. Now these are the regular cover reissues. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You know, I couldn't help myself. I picked up all these regular issues. You know, I'm just gonna get them all signed. You know, I was surprised I couldn't get this at my local comic store at all, so that's the reason why I had to go to eBay for these. So I said I might as well just snatch up as many copies as I can. It's funny, I'm trying to cool out on my comic collecting, and then here I am starting back up. So here's another box, and look at that, beautifully bubble wrapped comics, bagged and boarded. You know, I can't complain on the seller. So let's take a look, and he gave a free book in here, free Kylo Ren Star Wars. That's not bad, good pickup, you know, for a freebie. But this is the prize. I got Secret Wars number 7, first appearance of Spider-Woman, foil edition, Doom God, you know, number 12, Secret Wars. And I picked up this Ahsoka number 1. I have intent on getting that signed at a show if I run into Rosario Dawson, and Secret Wars number 11. So I'm loving these foil covers. You know, my intent is to try to get every Secret Wars, you know, reissue in the foil, and maybe I could probably get those signed if I ever run into Mike Zeck at a future show. Next up is a delivery from Big Bad Toy Store. This is from my pile of loot option. Big Bad will stack a bunch of figures together for you and send them out for one shipping price, which is a great option. And the first figure up is going to be Agent Venom retro carded. Now I was digging this figure when he first came out. Then I saw the reviews. The reviews kind of sucked, small shoulders. But I dig the fact that he looks like Aaron Eckhart, so I kept it. Next figure is going to be the Unlimited Spider-Man, a figure that I'm not too keen on. I didn't love when I watched the cartoon with it, but it is Spider-Man, so I kept it. I'm going to put him up on the wall with the rest of the retro cards. And I got the Cable, the Capcom Cable from the Zabu Build-A-Figure. He came out again. I was able to get him on a reissue, so that's a great pickup. Alright, so let me get these figures out the way and go back to some more unboxing. Alright, moving back along to the comic scene. Now, again, got to check the feedback on the sellers. Feedback is great. Packing is great. Can't complain. And he gave a business card in there. What else did the seller give? A sticker. That's pretty cool. Spider-Man sticker. Now, this is a book I've been chasing for quite a while. And I've been reluctant to pull the trigger on it, but I got a good deal on it. And that's the Incredible Hulk magazine, from the 70s with that Lou Ferrigno Hulk cover. It just looks great. And I've always regretted I've seen Lou Ferrigno at plenty shows and never got his autograph. So I got this with intent on catching him at a future show. And, I'm looking at this book. It looks better. They put it at a 5. But I'm looking at it, it's got a little browning on the edges. But that gloss is there. Look at that gloss on that. That book looks great. I could tell this has been pressed. It's been cleaned and pressed. I could feel it, but, we're talking about a book from the 70s, and, I'm looking at the high gloss on the cover. It just looks great. This is a book to get signed and graded. So wish me luck on it, guys. Moving right along, I thought this was pretty cool for a unboxing. It's not comic related, but still pretty cool nonetheless. And I am a little mad at myself because I picked these up with intent on going out to Jackie Robinson Day, to try to catch a ball game. But these are brand new Jackie Robinson editions from New Era. So I got a Brooklyn Dodgers Jackie Robinson edition hat. This is pretty cool. Now I'm digging that. Look at that. I love that pen. That 42 pen up there on the hat that just looks nice. It's a clean looking hat. Look at that. So it's a snapback. It's not fitted. Got a Jackie Robinson, embroidered signature there. And this is just a nice Brooklyn Dodgers hat. So what I'll do, I'll probably wear that out to a Cyclones game. And let's take a look at this one. This one is going to be a Yankee Jackie Robinson hat. And I got to tell you, they didn't slouch with this Yankee edition either. Look at that 42, embroidered patch. That patch is nice. And this one is actually fitted. So it's fitted hat. Jackie Robinson embroidered signature there on the brim. These are just nice hats. So, unfortunately, I didn't make it to the baseball game, Jackie Robinson Day this year. But, still plenty of time to catch more baseball. And next up is going to be another Target delivery. So I ordered this when I ordered those Retro Carter Spider-Man figures, the Chameleon and the Marvel Boy. And, it came separately. So, she's been sitting in the box out there for a while. So crack her open. Now, I've been falling off lately with the collecting of the NECA stuff. But I was able to get Angela pretty cheap. And, she's a great looking figure. I just fell off on collecting. And I'm trying to complete this whole line, but unfortunately some of them are selling out. So, I got to move quick. I'm trying to complete my Gargoyles collection, but this was a great pickup. Look at that. That's a great figure. And next up, I got a Walmart delivery. I've been trying to keep away from Walmart for the longest because a lot of times that delivery is trash. But this one actually came in a nice box. And the only reason why I picked it up because it was on sale dirt cheap. So I got the Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I'm not too sure if these were reissues, but he was dirt cheap up there, so I had to get him. All right, next up is going to be a Amazon delivery that I got, and I wasn't going to pick this figure up, but again, it seems like everything was on clearance, and a lot of the stores, I don't know if they're clearing out shelf space, warehouse space. I was able to get this figure pretty cheap, and it is Elsa from the Indiana Jones collection. Now, I didn't love this figure at all. I still don't love it. I think that face sculpt just looks horrible, but she was dirt cheap on clearance. So if you're on clearance, I kind of want to complete the line, so I grabbed her. And next up is a pre-order for the X Factor Cyclops. And this figure looks great. I couldn't wait to get my hands on this one. I'm going to crack him open and do a short on him. And I did get the pre-order for that Target Jean Grey X Factor. And, I'm still perplexed why they put him in a box, but the Jean Grey's on the retro card. I don't know. Alright, good people. Next up is going to be a sneaker unboxing. And if you go to a lot of conventions and shows like I do, comfort is the cornerstone of any good show. You definitely need good footwear. So I picked up these Nikes. Now, I love my sneakers. I'm not a sneakerhead per se, but I do love a good shoe. And this Air Max looks great. It's black, gray, and yellow. That colorway is tough. It's a clean looking sneaker. And, they look comfortable. And, this is definitely going to be worn. Maybe I'll wear it to the Philly show. And I didn't get beat in the head for these. I paid a total of $67 for this sneaker. So this is great. So let me pack these bad boys away, put them in the closet, and I'll break them out in a couple weeks, most likely for the Philly show. And moving right back along the toys, got this Walmart delivery, and I'm surprised that it's actually in a box. So let's crack it open and see who I got here. I got Mr. Voller. Is it Voller or Voller? Voller. Dial of Destiny, always need a bad guy, trying to complete that run. And I got Viper, Madam Hydra, I always needed her, and I got her dirt cheap as well. So, again, everybody's blown these figures out. I'm just grabbing everything up that, I was too cheap to grab at that moment. And next up is going to be a Amazon delivery, and I gotta admit, it was boxed up pretty well, and it's going to be Captain Steve Rogers. I wanted this figure for a while, but I just refused to pay full price for it. I was being cheap. So got him down to, I believe it was $15. $15, can't go wrong with Cap. Alright, moving right along. This is going to be another Big Bad Toy Store unboxing. And with this one, again, from the pile of loot option, stacks up all your figures, get them in one delivery. So, this was another box that was just sitting up in the house. So, let's take a look. Big Bad Toy Store gave some stickers. Always love the stickers that they give. I put them up on my son's wall. And I got Spider-Man animated retro carded Kane. Kane was all the rage in the 90s, boy. That Kane was everywhere in every comic. And I got a retro card of Cap Secret Wars. I already have one, but I picked up another one to crack open. And I got a retro card of Wolverine. Now this Wolverine looks great to go with the Capcom Sentinels. So, I'm going to use that for that setup. Alright, moving right along. Now this is going to be clearly a trash delivery. They put it in a paper mailer bag, which sucks, but these are cheap figures, so I wasn't trying to keep them pristine anyway. I'm going to crack them open. And this one is going to be Quake. Now, I never had Quake, that controller line I just thought was a weak line, but I did always want her to go with my Shield figures. So I picked her up and I got her pretty dirt cheap. I believe she was 11 or 12 bucks. And what's up next? Surprise, surprise, a trash delivery from Walmart. So, I guess they can't box everything. I'm asking for a lot. Anyway, this was a cheap figure. She was on sale as well, and is Rogue. Oh, pick that up. And is Rogue. This Rogue figure, I thought it was not bad. It just wasn't great. So, but on sale, hey, all day, every day. Now this last figure, I was being cheap and lazy, didn't want to pick them up, but had no choice. I had to get them quick because what happens, the Born Again Daredevil series drop, and they drop a pre-order for the Marvel Legends, and the No Way Home Matt Murdock ticks back up in price. So I was still able to get them for 19 bucks, which is not bad, you know, but everybody's picking them up now because they want that head sculpt. So this is a good buy for me, and I'll put them up on the wall. Look at that. But that's my time, people. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Helps out the channel, and I appreciate you. And remember, F them tariffs. Keep collecting. Main One Collector out.